Okay, so let's talk about AI. We are living through this incredible moment where technology is completely reshaping our world, our economy, and yeah, even our paychecks. So today we're digging into a massive question. In a world full of AI, what is a human's work truly worth? But first, let me ask you something, and be honest. Do you feel like your pay really reflects the value you create at work? For decades, the deal was supposed to be simple, right? You produce more, you earn more. But has that promise actually been kept? That question right there is at the heart of everything we're about to unpack. You see, to really get where we're going with AI, we first have to understand where we've been. And for the last 50 years or so, something really strange has been happening in our economy. Economists have a name for it. They call it the Great Decoupling. All right, take a look at this chart. It lays out the problem so clearly, you just can't miss it. That top line, that's productivity, basically how much stuff we produce for every hour we work, and it has been absolutely soaring. Now, the bottom line is the hourly pay for most workers. For years, you see how they moved together, in lockstep. But then, right around the 1970s, they just split. They broke apart. We got way more productive, but for a huge number of people, paychecks just flatlined. This is the productivity pay gap.
So what happened? Why did these two lines that were married for so long suddenly get a divorce? Well, the sources we're looking at point to a few key culprits. First, any pay raises that did happen were really concentrated at the very top, at the senior levels. Second, there was a major shift of income away from workers and towards shareholders. And finally, some economic policies basically accepted higher unemployment as a way to control inflation, which really weakened the power of workers to bargain for better wages.
And that brings us to right now, because into this already strange system, we've just introduced this incredibly powerful new disruptor, artificial intelligence. And you know what? This time, it's not just coming for the factory floor. It is coming for the office. Here is the absolute key difference. Past waves of automation were all about physical tasks, right? Robots in factories, that kind of thing. But this new AI revolution, it targets cognitive tasks. The thinking, the writing, the analyzing, all the things that define knowledge work. It is a totally different beast.
You know, AI's impact isn't just about replacing jobs one for one. It's way more subtle than that. It's about reshaping the actual value of expertise itself. This can lead to what's called a hollowing out of the middle of the job market, and it creates this really fascinating and kind of weird paradox.
So what is labor market hollowing? It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Those jobs in the middle, the ones that have always been the backbone of the middle class, they start to shrink. And what's left? You have high-end, creative, strategic jobs at the top, and then lower-end service jobs that need a physical person at the bottom. That whole middle section just gets squeezed.
Now this slide, this is where it gets really interesting. This is the paradox in action. Let's take bookkeepers. Automation came in and handled all the simple data entry. That left only the really complex, expert-level work. So you had fewer jobs, sure, but the people who remained saw their wages go up by 40%. Now look at inventory clerks. The exact opposite happened. Automation took over the expert tasks, which lowered the skill level needed for the job. So more jobs were actually created, but wages went down. It all depends on which tasks get automated.
And believe me, this isn't some historical trend. It is playing out right now. This quote is from a recent study that found AI coding assistants gave the biggest productivity boost to the most junior developers. It basically closed the skill gap between them and their senior colleagues almost overnight. So that raises a really uncomfortable question, doesn't it? If an AI can make a junior employee just as productive as a senior one, is that senior employee's experience and their much higher salary still justified?
Okay, I know, this all sounds a little grim, but it does not have to be our future. There are economists and thinkers out there who are putting forward a pretty radical proposal for how we can navigate all this, and it involves fundamentally changing what we as a society decide to value.
The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so profound. As AI gets better and better at all those cognitive tasks, what if we just shifted our economic focus? What if we decided to give the highest financial rewards to the complex, interpersonal human work that machines simply can't touch?
This whole concept is called the human premium. Think of it like this. When something becomes super common, its value drops. As AI makes data analysis a cheap commodity, what becomes scarce? What becomes truly valuable? It's the stuff AI can't replicate: empathy, creativity, and the simple, powerful act of human presence.
And this isn't just some vague, feel-good idea. There's an actual framework for thinking about this, a new way to define what high-value work really means in the 21st century.
It's called the Epoch Framework, and it highlights 5 core areas where humans will always have the edge. We're talking about empathy, presence, opinion, creativity, and hope. These skills are the foundation of our most essential, human-centric roles, teachers, nurses, caregivers. And here's the radical part of the proposal. These should become our highest-paid professions.
And look, this isn't science fiction. It's already happening. Just take the nursing profession. Right now, a nurse can spend up to 40% of their day on administrative work, paperwork. AI can take that over. It can handle the documentation, which frees up the nurse to focus on what only a human can do: complex clinical reasoning, providing compassionate care, and building trust with a patient. It lets them focus on their human premium.
So the big question is, if this is all so important, why haven't we done it already? Why are these jobs so often undervalued? Well, this quote really gets to the heart of it. It argues that this isn't an accident. It's the result of a reign of carelessness, where our economies have systematically put profit ahead of people. So to change our pay structures, we might first have to change our core priorities.
And that brings us right back around to that ultimate question we started with. As AI continues to advance at this dizzying pace, we have a choice to make. We have to decide what is truly irreplaceable about the work that we do. Is it our ability to process data faster, or is it our ability to connect, to care, to create, and to heal? The answer we choose will define not just our paychecks, but the very kind of society we're going to build for ourselves.